Lions fans, we need to talk. Cue the intro. Oh, don't have an intro yet. Subscribe so I can afford a computer so I can make an intro. So, jumping right into it, we have a problem that's going to come up over the next couple of years, if not the next, before the end of 2026. Something we've never had to deal with before as Lions fans, which is we have an abundance of riches for the first time in probably most of our lives. We need to be ready for the fact that we're not going to be able to pay all of our fan favorite players. I don't see how that's possible. If the salary cap actually exists, I don't see how it's possible. Because right now, the players we've paid are St. Brown, Kirby, Sewell, Goff, Monty, and Aleem McNeil. Players we still have to pay are Hutch, Gibbs, Branch, Campbell, Rodrigo, and Terrion. It's a lot of names. You could hope Hutch gives us a hometown discount. I don't like to try to rely on that. If anybody's going to, I believe Hutch would. He seems like the type of person, comes from money because his dad played. So, plus he's got the personality where he could do sports announcers, anchor stuff, and be fine. He's already got the fame for it. But, off topic. If we pay all those players what they're owed, we're not keeping all of them. I would love it if we did. I'm bringing all this up because of the Anzalone issue. He said he wants to retire a Lion. Makes sense. Wasn't very well known before. He's always been a solid player, high effort, all that, but never like a key factor in the defense until he came here. And we made him the example of what a defensive player should be, effort and personality wise. He fits it to a T. Problem is, we kind of drafted the person who's supposed to replace him a couple years ago. A couple years ago. In Campbell, who is cheaper, much younger, and is making drastic improvements. I remember in his rookie year, he was standing 2 yards deep in the end zone, waiting to make a tackle while someone was coming through the line. Like he was going to tackle the running back after he crossed the line of scrimmage and the plane of the end zone. Ridiculous stuff like that. And then last year, Anzalone goes down and he leads the defense of broken and practice squad players to actually resemble high quality. So he has made a vast improvement in just between his rookie and his second year. If that holds true, he's going to be a superstar very quickly. And we have an abundance of riches at linebacker. Anzalone, Campbell, Barnes, Rodrigo. All of those players are young. Anzalone's the only veteran. He does want to retire a Lion, but he's probably going to want that final contract, the big money, what I need to retire on. But we already have 3 players who are good enough to start. And we want to have a base nickel defense. That's 2 linebackers. Right now, that's Campbell and Anzalone. But that could very easily be Campbell and Barnes. And when we switch to a 4-3 for the run-heavy downs, then we can move Rodrigo in there and have a full set of 3 quality starting linebackers. I know everyone loves Anzalone. You should be prepared for the fact that he might not be back next year. We may just let him play out his contract and walk. Because no matter what, he is going to be more expensive than Campbell, Barnes, and Rodrigo over the next few years. Another one to mention, we just paid Kirby. How many teams throughout history have had 2 top 5 safeties throughout their whole careers? I can't think of too many. Now, the ones that do are usually pretty damn good. So I would very, very, very much like to keep both Kirby and Brian Branch. We already paid Kirby. I do think there's a chance we could get both of them at least through their next contract. Whatever we sign Kirby for, maybe we sign Branch to an additional 4-year deal after his rookie deal. And then after that, we might just let Kirby go. He'll be close to 30 by then. Not to mention, I think Rodrigo is getting close to his 4 years. He was part of that first season with that show for our training camp. I forget what that show's called. You know what I'm talking about. So he's in his 3rd year at least, maybe going on 4. I want to say 3. So he's already getting close to getting off of his rookie deal, which means he's going to have to get paid soon. Campbell's in year 3. So we're probably going to have to pay him. Terrion played really good for a rookie, thrown in, starting the whole time. I do think good things are going to come out of him this year. And after that, we're going to have to face the fact that we're going to have to pay him starting cornerback money as well. We have no clue about Rakestraw, so I left him off it. Don't know if we're going to pay him or just let him walk because no one knows how good he is. But that's 12 players between the big name paid and the big name not paid. 12 players that are stars or fan favorites that we're going to want to keep around. I don't see that as being possible. Not when you have a good quarterback making good quarterback money. You saw that in Tampa. Tampa had a Hall of Famer at every level. Tackle, corner, safety, linebacker, wide receiver, running back, O-line. They had someone at every level except for quarterback. Back in the early 2000s. It's possible, but they had a nobody at quarterback. They had Brad Johnson. He was a nothing. No one knew who he was before. No one remembers him afterwards. They won on defense and run game. It's possible, but only if you have someone who doesn't mess things up. We already have a big name, high quality, high paid quarterback. So that's off the table. We're definitely keeping Hutch. That's a given. Definitely Campbell. He's the big linebacker. He's the big name linebacker. Definitely keeping Terry on because he's the corner. That leaves Branch and Rodrigo. Maybe Rodrigo won't demand big money because he's been kind of second and third string, only because we've had so many good players. I'm rambling. We need to be ready to lose a lot of these big name players. It's not something we've had to deal with for a long time, if ever. We only have 2, maybe 3, if we're lucky. Not freaking 12. We're going to be like all those other teams who draft players, everyone loves them, and then they walk or get traded near the end of their careers or halfway through their careers, and everyone's like, I can't believe they let that guy go. He's such a big name. Well, that's because they had stars in the background that they saw coming up. Like, people may say that to Anzalone. Like, I can't believe they let Anzalone walk. This is insane. What are they doing? And then they see Malcolm Rodriguez come out there and tear it up, and they're like, oh crap, this guy's a lightning bolt. He's everywhere. So then he'll walk. And then he'll get paid, and he'll be the big name till he hits like 30, 32, and then he's walking after everyone like loves him and sees him as his big name star. We love you, and then we have to find somebody new to love in that position. This is going to be an issue. Because notice, I only mentioned Sewell on the O-line. That's not including Tate Ratledge. Graham's a veteran, Graham Glasgow, and I don't see him playing too much longer. Maybe 3 years if we're lucky. We do have a few veterans that are close to retirement, but a few young players that are getting started that are likely to make a big name for themselves and are going to need to get paid too. Remember, O-line is the core of our team. O-line, D-line, that's the anchor of our team on both sides. That's what they want, the big names, the big people to control it. We still need to pay them as well, because we're going to have a top 8 offensive line to play the way our style of play is. That's all I wanted to say. I want my fellow Lions fans to come to terms early with the fact that we're probably not going to be able to keep all the players we love. And we're going to have to follow the end of their careers from a distance and just end up wishing them well. That's all.